What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's stream. I hope everybody had a good day. We had a pretty successful night last night and this morning trading. Hope everybody got in on that trade yesterday. If you didn't, hopefully we'll have another one for you today. Appreciate everybody joining. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. We're going to look at some charts tonight and get into it. If you're on the vertical stream and you're having any issues, just let me know. It looks like the vertical stream's giving me a little bit of issues, but the horizontal stream, the vertical stream's great. The horizontal stream says it's having a little bit of issues, but we'll work through it. Yep, Adele yesterday was a good trade. Appreciate it. We're going to jump right into the charts here. We've got a couple really good charts to look at tonight. Honestly, USD CAD, and I should have had that one marked. Where is USD CAD? It's right here. USD CAD looks like it's going to go. This zone is not really valid anymore. It's actually down here, and it's a much smaller zone than that. Boy, how far did I put that zone? It's a much smaller zone than that. It's actually here. But what we're going to do is look at a couple charts here. The first one that I like the best out of all the charts tonight so far is going to be Euro JPY. Appreciate you, Henry. Welcome back, man. Good to see you here. Euro JPY is a pretty good chart that we're looking at right now. It looks like it's going to sell down to the zone here. Based off what we're seeing, we had a pretty nice wick right here. Typically, we see this fair value gap as a resistance here, and this is going to sell down. So I'm going to just draw some arrows to make it easier so we know what we're looking at on each chart as we go through them. Hopefully make it a little easier for you guys to see what's going on. Looking at sells on Euro JPY. Looking at sells on AUD USD. AUD USD is at a pretty strong resistance point right here. If we drop down to the 4-hour, yeah, it's at a really strong resistance, going back pretty far here. If we look at the day chart, it hasn't been here since October of 2024, 2 years ago. So I see this probably driving down. It hasn't created an upper wick here yet, though. So we don't want to get caught in that. It's got to create an upper wick. But we're looking at sells here on this one. Just draw an arrow there just so we know. Same with CAD JPY. CAD JPY, great 4-hour candle there indicating that this is going to sell. Looks like it's going to sell as well at a pretty strong resistance. We do want to make sure that we're not getting faked out and getting a push up this way to fill this gap, because we don't want to hold potentially 22 pips negative. So we're going to want to see more of a confirmation here, if not a test up here, before we took a sell there. But that's something that we're going to want to look at. NZD USD also looking like a sell at a very strong resistance dating all the way back to September of 2025. So we're looking at months of resistance. Really good candle up here indicating that we're going to move down. So this one we're also going to mark as a sell. USD JPY looks like it is getting stronger. We could potentially finish this W move. Really nice W move here that we could potentially finish going up to here. I'd like to see it break these highs, though, in this fair value gap right here. But that's the key zone that we're looking at, is right this area right here. We're going to want to make sure that we break that. Desmond, we just started, brother. You're good. No worries. We just started. We're analyzing right now. We're going to want to see it break that zone there. Probably a break and retest. So we'll see on that one, but it's still a buy. GJ also looks like a buy. We had a full closure above the EMA ribbon on the 4-hour. It's a bullish movement here. If we drop down to the day, you had a pretty big wick. of buying power. It's still closed red, so we could see a retracement down this way. I have it marked as a yellow folder, meaning we're not 100% sure. But based off what I'm seeing here, this could be a buy. Again, we have another fair value gap that's kind of in the way right here, and that area is right here. So this is the zone that we're looking at. I don't trade gold, guys, and it's for a good reason. It's dumping. Gold is in unprecedented times, guys. I don't trade gold. It is entirely a guessing game right now. There's absolutely no structure to it. It just keeps going up and up and up and up, and it's bound to have a retracement. A catastrophic retracement, in my opinion. It's going to be a huge retracement, and I don't know when it's going to happen. So, again, I don't trade gold. I know everybody likes to trade gold. I don't trade gold. USD CAD also looks like it's buying up. USD CAD, if it breaks pretty much that line right there, we're looking for buys. We do have an EMA ribbon that it could bounce off of and come back down and retest. We could see some sort of retest before it comes back up. And this is on the 4-hour chart, so it would be a long time for that to happen. If we take a look at it on the hour chart, actually, let me get rid of some of these lines here, because these were from our sell yesterday that we took profit on. If we go hop down to the 1 hour here, oh yeah, the 1 hour looks good too. 1 hour looks solid. As long as it holds that fair value gap. Again, you have a bunch of fair value gaps over here that you may need to worry about breaking through. You got 3, 4, you got 5 of them. It's a lot of fair value gaps in the way of this moving up. However, we're looking at a pretty solid chart in terms of moving up. Typically, we got to create a wick. There's no wick on this, so I would expect to see it come down here before we come back up. Typically, we're going to get a wick before we move upward. Those are the only charts that I'm looking at tonight. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charts. We're going to eliminate a couple of these as we get into this hour. We have AUD news tonight, so that's something new, guys. We have AUD news tonight. AUD news is going to be at 7:30. So we have red folder AUD news in 25 minutes. That could have a huge impact on this chart. Mohanan, oil. Sure, we can take a look at oil. You're looking at oil futures. What are you looking at? Or oil USD? What are you looking at? Which one? Let me know, and I'll take a look at it. Let me know which oil chart you're looking at, and I will certainly look at it. Oil USD. Alright, so we'll just draw our zones here. Let's hop to the 4 hour. You've got we'll do a top-down analysis here. You've got a support and resistance. It was a resistance here. It's a support here. You've got a strong support here. You've got a micro support here. Resistance here, sorry. Looks like it could come back down, or it could be on an uptrend. What you're going to want to do is mark lines here and here. So you're going to want to put one here. We'll just make it white so you can see it easier. And you're going to want to put one here and see where it breaks. If it breaks this way, you'll take buys. If it breaks this way, you'll take sells. So it's kind of moving. So there's your answer on oil, guys. It needs to break one of these two white lines to either take buys or take sells. Does that make sense? That's your analysis right there on oil. And if you hop down to the hour, it's still considered an uptrend right here because you have higher highs and higher lows. but it looks like it could be coming down here to test this area. But you have higher highs, higher lows on this whole chart. So it is an uptrend bouncing off this. This was a break. You could be retesting this. This could be a break and retest and come back down. Or we could see it just being an uptrend and going straight up. There's no really definite answer on what this chart is doing yet. I do scalp on the 15-minute and the 5 sometimes. It's easier to see the charts on higher time frames, what they're going to do. I'm also profitable, so I'm not going to change my system. But good question. But there's your oil analysis. We're going to see what happens here in 20 minutes when we get some AUD news. This AUD news I think is going to be very impactful. Hopefully it's bad news. Because if it's bad news, that'll also go with the trend. The bad news would go with the trend and that would help us out. Excuse me. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got to break this area. I already have this chart marked. Bitcoin's in consolidation. It's been in consolidation for a day and a half. It's consolidating right here. It needs to break this to see if we're going up. And if it retests this line, we're going down to 84,000. So, again, I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't trade oil. I only trade foreign exchange pairs, guys. I don't have a problem analyzing for you, but I don't trade those. The news is Australian dollar news. We have unemployment rate and employment change. Jay doesn't think it's going up. Why? Because I'm making money on Forex. That's why. I make more money on foreign exchange than I do on any other markets. That's why. It works for me. I'm analyzing on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, guys. We're analyzing on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. We'll look to get in on the hour or the 15-minute, but our top-down analyzing is done on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. I've already looked at Euro USD. I'm not touching it. Don't like the chart very much. I'll pull it up for you though. Euro USD broke structure a couple days ago. And now it's got a big fair value gap and it's at the EMA ribbon. There's no telling if it's going to continue down or go back up. So I don't like Euro USD. In my Discord, I have a news tab. It's a bot that automatically tells you. So, yeah. Benny, what's going on, man? How you doing? Miguel, what's going on? Johnny, what's going on? Am I going to abandon what? Jolemy? Am I going to abandon what? The news updates you can get from Forex Factory. That's right here. You can get it from Forex Factory right here. But this also is in my Discord in the news tab. We have a bot that tells you all this information, so you don't have to go to another website. It's not a good enough trade to look at. Like I said, I've marked up. If you're on the horizontal stream, you can see this, but I have 5 or 6 charts that I've already determined that we're going to look at tonight, and that's not one of them. Euro USD is not one of them. I don't trade silver. I think gold is going to collapse at some point, and I don't know when, guys. I don't know when it's going to, but it is going to collapse at some point. But I don't trade gold. I do not trade gold, guys. I don't trade gold. I don't trade commodities. I don't trade oil. Guys, I trade foreign exchange pairs. You can certainly learn technical analysis from me. That's not a problem. but I do not trade any of those, so I'm not going to be looking at those tonight. I'm focusing on the system that works for me, and you're more than welcome to learn the system. You're more than welcome to learn the system that I use. It's just price action, support and resistance, and break of structure. If you want to learn the strategy, just watch the stream, because you'll see how we analyze from top down. Yeah, I'm the director of golf at a very large golf course in Florida, but I'd also day trade every single night, full time. I do both full time. We're going to focus on the charts tonight, guys, and we're going to focus on the pairs that we want to look at. I trade one session every day. Actually, we trade two today. We traded the New York session today as well. So I take that back. We did trade the New York session today, which was good. It went over pretty well. New York session went well. We made some money. Made about a little over $1,000. So that went well. But we're looking at Euro JPY. We're looking at AUD USD. We're looking at CAD JPY, NZD USD, and USD JPY. I really like USD JPY for buys. I also like NZD USD for sells. But again, we're waiting on AUD news here. That's going to happen in 15 minutes. Jay, we're analyzing on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. All we're using is fair value gaps and EMA ribbons. I do have my own indicator right here that gives you buys and sells. I have my own indicator right here, but it's not out for the public use yet, so I'm not using it on stream. We're working on perfecting it, but I do have my own indicator right here. We're not going to use that on stream yet, though, because it's going to be released next week. But we're just using an EMA ribbon and fair value gaps. What session is this? This is the Asian session. P Money Superb. This is the Asian session right now. Nice pine script. I don't know what that means. You're new to trading? Well, welcome. We trade price action, support and resistance, and break of structure, guys. So if that's something you're looking to learn, it would be a great stream to watch. I'd appreciate if you guys don't stop asking me, though, to look at gold. I'm going to say this for the last time. Gold is in an unprecedented time right now. It's at all highs. So if you know anything about break of structure, and I'm going to go over this, look at this chart. How are you supposed to predict anything in any sort of absolute or good idea at all? If you understand price action trading, and you understand that the market moves in certain ways at support and resistance zones and break of structure, how are you supposed to predict something that's been moving up over the last 150 days? It's gained 126,000 pips. So, don't ask about gold. It's in an unprecedented, uncharted area. It's uncharted area. It's really tough to trade that. So if you're someone that wants to learn how to trade, don't look at gold. It has no structure whatsoever other than the fact that it's a straight line right now on every chart. From the hour all the way up to the week, it's a straight line. You can't trade this. You certainly can try. I saw a couple traders lose a ton of money on this today, and I saw a couple traders make a lot of money on this today. It's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. That's why we're sticking to pairs that have structure with support and resistance zones that we can actually predict with a somewhat of confidence. Yeah, volatility is important. Volatility comes from volume. Jalomi, volatility comes from volume. The more volume there is, the more volatility there is. There's definitely volume on gold, so it's going to move, but who knows which way. There's no structure to it right now. If you're just joining, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We go live Sunday through Thursday. We won't be having a stream tomorrow. We did 2 streams today. This is the second stream of the day today. But we're going to get AUD news here in 10 minutes. 9 minutes and 30 seconds to be exact. So we'll see what happens here on news. But a lot of these look like sells to me. Euro JPY looks like a really good sell. It should probably retrace, and we could see 20 pips to the bottom here. As long as we don't get faked out by this EMA ribbon, because it could certainly go right back up and finish this W pattern. But based on it, it looks like it could go for 20 pips. We have a pretty strong fair value gap right here. That's been tested 3 times. So 3 hours of testing on this fair value gap. Looks like it's probably going to sell off to the next zone. Again, right down here. CAD JPY, very similar thing here. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, very, very strong reversal patterns up here. Almost an entire candle of selling pressure. And then you had a red bearish hammer candle, and now we're moving downward. It tried to come back up, didn't break these highs. Looks like it's driving down. CAD JPY may be the move tonight with enough room for 22 pips to the EMA ribbon, and your second TP would be 45 pips to the next fair value gap. So CAD JPY looks solid. You also have a fair value gap here that's been tested quite a few times right in this area, and it's sustained right through here. So a really good option is a sell on CAD JPY. Miss Trump's speech today, it didn't really do much. If anything, it was good for the dollar. If anything, it was good for the dollar. That's about it. On P-Money, this is foreign exchange markets. We're trading foreign exchange markets. This is the Asian session that opened at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark555, what's going on? Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to see what happens with AUD here. We got 6 minutes and 50 seconds until we get news on AUD. So we will not be getting in any trades until we see what happens with the news. I appreciate you joining, Mark. We're doing a little day trading here in the foreign exchange markets. So welcome. And you guys see my thumbnail? It's pretty cool. Adele made the picture, but the rest of it was pretty sick. But yeah, we got, what do we have? Let's see here. Zentor. Appreciate you, Mark. How do we choose which pairs? Strictly priced action and volume. So we pick the pairs that have volume, and then we look at key levels and see if we're going to break and retest them, or if we're going to blow through them, or if we're going to reverse at them. It's very simple strategy. The simpler, the better when it comes to trading. The more simple it is, the better your strategy is going to be. When you start getting into using all these indicators and stuff, and the indicator that I've been working on with this guy named Henry, he's taking into account all my rules. I have 4 confirmations, 4 rules that I use, and in order for me to get into a trade, all 4 things need to happen. He's able to code all 4 of those into a trading view indicator, and that's what we've been working on. But right now we're doing it manually, which is fine. I'd rather not trust a computer and use my own judgment, but it seems that the market and the industry is moving towards a lot of AI based indicators, so make sure you don't get left behind. So those 4 things, what are they? So the first one is going to be, we need to see a reversal at a key zone. We need to see a candle closure above or below an EMA ribbon or a key zone. We need to see a fair value gap formed. And we need to confirm a trend. That it's not going against a trend. It is going with a trend. So that's your 4 things right there. That's our 4 rules. That is how we trade. That's how I trade every single day. That's how I've been trading for 15 years now. And it works. So as long as you stick to your guns, I don't take more than 1 to 2 trades a day at most. I don't chase trades. I don't, go out of my way to find trades that aren't there. I take what the market gives me. And if the market doesn't give you anything, it doesn't give you anything. That's how you become profitable. There's too many guys out there saying, I need to make money, I want to make money, hopping in and out of trades, following different gurus and shit, and that doesn't work. Just keeping it simple. That doesn't work. We got 3 minutes until we get AUD news. No problem, Iana Jade. Mark, thanks for the thumbs up. P Money. Yeah, break of structure. We don't have any examples right now on the charts of break of structure currently, but if we do get one, I will show you. I think NZD USD is going to sell down to here, guys. I think we're going to get minimally 12 to 30 pips out of NZD USD tonight. AUD is really going to give us some insight here, though, in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. See if we're going to be taking any sells or not. Yeah, I'll explain more about the rules. I don't have a problem explaining that, but we are going to wait a second here. Just give me 2 minutes because I want to see what happens with this news. We have employment change. So what that means is last month, because this is employment change month over month, the government of Australia releases data basically saying how many employment claims there are. So this new data is going to tell us if there's more or less employment claims. Typically, if there's more unemployment claims, it's bad. It means that there's less people with jobs, less people in the workforce. If it comes out saying that there are less unemployment, then it is good for the pair. But news typically works in very weird ways, which is why I don't trade news. We're going to watch it and see what happens. And we'd wait an hour after the news to actually get in anything to see if there's a market correction or it's going to continue on the trend that it's moving on. AUD USD. AUD USD is the pair. That is the AUD USD or Euro AUD. You can really look at either of them, but I think we're going to be using AUD USD as our example. We're on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. This chart I'm showing is currently the 1 hour. We're going to drop it to the 30-minute here, actually, because it's going to be a 30-minute candle that we're going to be seeing on this, either the 15-minute or the 30-minute. Probably the 15, but we're about to get it here in 37 seconds. Either the 15-minute or the 30, because it's halfway. Key zones are just on the 4-hour chart. You just mark your key zones where the chart stays between these key zones, and then you zoom in onto a smaller level and look at the smaller key zones. And we'll see those later in the stream when we get into it. But right now, I'd really like to see what happens with AUD in 4 seconds. No, I trade the Asian set. I trade the New York session this morning. Wow, look at that. Came out good. You guys just see that candle? I either enter on the hour or the 15, but yes, most of the time on the 15. Look at that candle. So it came out good. Employment change was good. It was good for AUD. Look at the candle move. Euro AUD probably dropped off. Yep. AUD USD. Look at that move. So now we're going to look at the hour chart, and we're going to see if this stays up there. Both came out good for AUD. AUD could fly the rest of the night, but most of the time what happens is the hour after, you see a market correction come back down. Most of the time that's what happens. But this news just had effect on all the pairs. You see movement on all the pairs right now. But especially the AUD pairs. Like Euro AUD just absolutely dropped off. Look at another AUD pair. GBP AUD absolutely dropped off coming down to this next zone. AUD JPY absolutely went up. So the primary pair, if it's AUD, is going to go up. AUD NZD, again, absolutely took off. AUD CAD, again, absolutely took off. All these AUD pairs, since news was good, is going to fly. You do not want to trade news. What happens with the news is it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, and goes... The employment change news that just came out for the Australian dollar. Fear go, I don't trade gold. I have no comment on gold. But yeah, these AUD pairs really just took off. And then if AUD is the secondary pair, like Euro AUD, it absolutely dropped off. Again, it could keep pushing, or you could see a market correction. A lot of times you see a market correction afterward. Which is why I don't trade it. Because you could take sells, and yeah, we could have got out with, you know, a sell right here. You're risking it. It just went for 44 pips. But it's very risky trading. It doesn't follow my rules. I know a lot of people would put like a buy stop here and a sell stop here and just wait to see which one it hits, right? But I've seen it wick down and go back up and hit both your buy stop and your sell stop, and then you're really screwed. Oh, I literally just said that. That's funny. No, I used to trade like that on news. It does not work well. I've seen it do this and then completely wick back the other way and tap both of them. Your buy stop and your sell stop, and then you're fucked on both sides. Sorry, didn't mean to curse there, but then you're screwed on both sides. That is not something that you want to do. I know TJR does it, but he's trading with free money off all his affiliate stuff, so. That's the truth about the news, guys. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but that's the truth about news. Yeah, you certainly can. It's risky. This news happened to be where it dropped and kind of stayed there. It's rare that that happens. And typically you get a massive market correction. Again, so if you were able to get in and get out of this, fantastic. That is awesome. But that doesn't follow the rules that I use for trading. I started this community and streaming live to really show people the proper way to trade. Not that there's one way, but there's a way to limit your risk. Yeah, I don't trade NFP. Absolutely not. Joel and me, there's absolutely no reason to trade NFP. Non-farm payroll, no. It wicks up and then wicks down with a market correction. There's really no way to make money unless you are scalping on a very low time frame with a very quick take profit and very high lot size. And you have to hope it doesn't wick back the other way. That is the only way to do it, and it's a very, very high skilled thing to do. I can do it. I don't like to. It's too risky. I'd rather just trade break of structure, support and resistance, and candle closures above or below key zones. It's a lot more predictable that way. It's a lot more predictable, in my opinion. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. But we're going to keep looking at these charts here and see what's going on. Look at that. USD JPY wicked down. GJ's rejecting off the EMA ribbon, which means it could break the highs. I'd like to see it break these highs before we got in anything. USD CAD, massive wick down. This could be a break and retest. Firgo, yes, low risk plan is always the better plan. We could be looking at a break and retest here. USD CAD, we caught this yesterday on stream, guys. This move right here on stream, we caught this yesterday. Actually, this morning. Right there, that move. We caught this. So this could be a break and retest. Come back up, retest. This could be a break and retest, or we could see it break this area and continue to move upward. Again, we don't have enough information to make that decision yet. In order for us to make that decision of if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down, we need to see some sort of indication of if it's going to break this zone or if it's going to break above this zone. Especially on the 1 hour, we're going to need to see a full candle closure above one of those zones. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Not day trade stocks. Hold long term, yes. But I do not day trade stocks anymore, no. I used to trade early session, pre-market on Webull. I've done pretty well on it. I like foreign exchange better. I feel that the price action and the structure of foreign exchange is better. And foreign exchange, you can trade at higher leverage. So I don't day trade stocks anymore, no. Do I have positions in on stocks? Yes, but they're long-term. Just blue chip long-term stocks. And by the way, the fifth confirmation, guys, I didn't mention there's a fifth one that you can use, but it's not always accurate, is on TradingView. You look at the technicals. If everything's considered a strong buy, pretty good chance it might be a buy. But it's something that you got to really pay attention to. There's a little more than it just being an engulfing candle. But yes, typically an engulfing candle is a sign of a reversal. But it also could be a fake out. So that's why we always wait to see the next candle. Or at least to get some retracement, and maybe there's a fair value gap involved or an EMA ribbon that could be used as a support or a resistance zone. Yeah, AUD JPY just took off for news. The Immortal 2603, it just took off because of news. Unemployment claims came out at 7:30. So 9 minutes ago, we got news. That's why it took off. We're not trading that pair. I'm actually just going to completely unflag it because we're not taking it. But that's why all the AUD pairs either shot up or went down. If it was a primary AUD pair, it went up. If it was a secondary AUD pair, it went down. Yeah, the Euro USD chart doesn't look good right now. I went over this a little bit earlier, but the Euro USD chart really doesn't have any confirmations of what it's doing. It broke structure here and came up, and now that it's down in this area, it could sell off, or it could keep going. You could break this and keep going down, or we could see it come back up and retest the CMA ribbon right here. And if it comes back up and tests the CMA ribbon, you'd see something like this before it comes back down to the channel. So there's not enough information on the Euro USD chart for us to take a trade. You don't need any of that, guys. Just either in my Discord, you just click the news. If not, if you don't want to do that, you can just look at Forex Factory right here. Forex Factory shows you unemployment change, employment rate. They were both came out green, meaning it's good for the currency pair. It's forexfactory.com, or you can just join the Discord and click the news tab in my Discord. You can get signals and see the news all in one place. It's all free. But I don't like the Euro USD chart tonight. There's not any price action that I'm seeing that I would take. And like I said, I don't force trades. The only way I take a trade is if it meets all of my credentials. It has to meet all the requirements. Nice, yeah, man. The Discord link is pinned. It's also the Nightbot has been sending it in the chat. If you scroll up. Yeah, you don't have to physically watch the news to get the news, guys. You don't have to physically watch it. You can just use Forex Factory. Here, if I'll show you about the Discord, guys. If you look right here. Oops, sorry. If you look right here, if you're in the Discord or if you've just joined, you just click news right here. And it shows you every single day. It shows you every single day what's going on. So today, see how you have a red folder that says high impact? There's a red dot. No, Forex Factory is just a website. Like I said, or you can check my Discord. It automatically tells you the news every day. And then you had another high impact one right here. So employment change and unemployment rate. And it tells you what the previous and what the forecast is. It's powered by Forex Factory. So it just goes straight into my Discord instead of you having to look at it and go to the website. So it's an easy way to find out all your information you need for the day, as well as get some free signals, learn some. I have an education tab. So, but anyway, enough about that. We're going to take a look at what these pairs are doing. We're going to move down to the 15-minute chart here on a lot of these. Nice. P-Money superb. Good stuff, man. Happy to have you. So CAD JPY, we're not really seeing much on the 15-minute. Again, I was looking for a reversal down this way. I was looking for a reversal for it to move down off this key zone. It looks like we are in a downtrend, which is good. But we're going to want to see it break this area before we get in sells. Moving on, NZD USD. NZD is the New Zealand dollar. That's also affected by the Australian dollar, which is why you saw this big wick here. But again, at a very key level here, this level right here is a very key level. Look how many times we've had rejection. We've had it once, we've had it twice, we've had it 3 times, we've had it now 4 times. If it rejects, we should see it move down this way. So we're simply marking out key zones and then plotting and looking and seeing where the money is moving and where the charts are moving. USD JPY looks like it could sell off. GJ looks like they don't have enough information yet, guys. There's not enough information on almost all of these charts yet, so we're going to need to wait. No, I don't use a currency strength meter. I just use volume. TradingView shows volume on the side. That's good enough for me. Bandera, if Euro USD breaks the last lower low, it's going to confirm to go high. It's up in the air, man. It could continue to move up this way, or it could break this fair value gap and come back down here. There's no telling. There's not enough information on the chart. Yes, you can use volume with anything that you trade. You can use volume with anything that you trade. Volume is a fantastic indicator. And typically in the Asian session, Euro JPY has the most volume. Almost every Asian session, Euro JPY's got the most volume. Sometimes, yeah, it just depends what the chart gives me. Like I said, we have our 4 rules that we follow. Reversal is one of them. So yeah, it would be nice to see a reversal, but it looks like we might get a W pattern on this one. Where we might get kind of this. And we could see this area tonight. Miguel, have you been in the stream this whole time? Or no? I've talked about AUD USD quite a few times. Yeah, it was because of the news, so sometimes there's a market correction and it comes back down. Sometimes it keeps going for a couple hours. That's the tricky thing with news. Excuse me. So I don't trade it. So I don't trade news. It's extremely risky. GJ and EJ and CAD, they all look like they could buy right now on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, it's kind of up in the air. I really love the sells on CAD JPY, especially since our zones have been here, 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 and now it looks like here. Every time we've reached somewhere in this area right here, we've reversed back down. See this? Now I'm thinking we're going to do the same right here. You guys see that? Every single time we've gotten to these points, we've reversed. All signs that this is going down. Yeah, never trade news. I think the 4 hours is coming up to create a wick. I think as we get closer to the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to see it move down, to be quite honest with you. But if we come up to retest this area for another 20 or so pips, I wouldn't mind getting at a better price and then have it drive back down. But again, what we're doing is looking at what the market is giving us. USD CAD's going to get a full bearish engulfing candle. USD CAD could be a break and retest, and we might sell it again. We might take the same trade for twice in one day. In the New York session, actually in the Asian session last night, we sold it. We went into profit this morning in the New York session. We're about to get what looks like a full bearish engulfing candle on the hour, and on the 4 hour, it's rejecting pretty hard off the same fair value gap we used yesterday, guys. We took sells right here yesterday, right on this candle. We held a little bit of drawdown, and then it came all the way down, and we took profit down here. We could be taking sells off the same exact fair value gap right here. Yeah, ideally it would go for, yeah, 35 pips. You are correct. That's exactly what I'm looking at too. Ian Jade, I've been trading for almost 15 years now. This will be my 15th year trading. I've been trading for a long time. Yeah, it could go for 35 pips. And to be honest with you, Miguel, if it breaks this, your next zone is deep. Your next zone is here, and then your following zone is here. So you could be looking at a potential, if it breaks this, because this is your break and retest, right? So this is your break and retest. If this is truly going to be bearish for the rest of the week, you could see, like we talked about, the 35 pips. Your next level is 80 pips. The following would be 180 pips. You could see this go all the way down for 180 pips, which would be extremely nice. Would be a great trade, but it would be a swing trade. It's not going to do that in 4 hours, you know what I mean? The most we've really seen it move this was market open. The most we've really seen it move is 50 to 70 pips in one session. So, like, typically if you measure out the session from session open to session close, and you see on average how many pips it moves, that's how much you can expect to get, as long as there's volume and some sort of catalyst, which would be price action. In this case, we have a pretty strong break and retest. I'd like to see it close on the hour bearish, and it looks like we're going to get that. But again, there's an EMA ribbon here, so your EMA ribbon's actually really down here. Your zone's kind of down here. It could dip back down here and go back up this way. I'm not using any volume indicator. On the side right here, you probably can't see it if you're on, look right here. On the side right here, when you click what you want to see on your pairs right here, you don't need last, you don't need change, you don't need change percentage, and you don't need extended hours. All you want is the logo, the ticker, and the volume. Just make sure you have volume checked off right here. And that's going to show you the volume all down the side. And make sure you're using FXCM, not Oanda, for your charts as well. They're not as accurate as FXCM, FCXM. Yeah, no problem. The Immortal, yeah, not a problem at all, man. But we might be getting in sells on USD CAD for the second day in a row, and I don't have a problem with it. We might be getting in sells again here. But we just want to be careful that we don't get faked out here because we can see that sometimes it goes below the EMA ribbon and then comes right back up. The EMA ribbon is not meant to be a point. It's not just meant to be one point right here. It's meant to be a zone at which it typically doesn't break. We had it kind of go into the zone here. We had it go way below the zone here. Now it's kind of above the zone. Oh, that doesn't look right. Now it's above the zone. So, are we using the EMA ribbon as a resistance right here? It looks like we might, but yeah, look, it went for 7 to 8 pips above the EMA ribbon before reversing back down. You caught that there? Yeah, my drawing was a little iffy there. It looks like a pretty strong reversal, though. The only thing you got to watch out for is you might have to wait till the 9 o'clock hour to see if it wicks back up here. But we got, what, 5 minutes left here in the hour. So, if we have a reversal at a key point, that's 1, right? So 1, we have a reversal at a key point here. 2, we have a fair value gap created, right? 3, if we get a full candle closure below this EMA ribbon, that would be 3. Our 4th would be to confirm that this is a downtrend. It is certainly a downtrend. Our 5th and final one that we can look to confirm on is this a sell? It's a sell on every time frame. There's your answer right there. I mean, it meets every single one of our requirements as of right now, other than having a candle closure below. So we'd like to see a candle closure below this EMA ribbon, and then we can look to take sells. However, we'd want to wait to see it break, retest, and then go. We don't want to get faked out and have it come back down here and just go straight up. So you got to be very careful when you're in this area to make sure that you're waiting for the right spot and the right confirmation when you're trading. Does that make sense to everybody? I think I've explained that in the simplest form the best I can. I think I've explained that pretty well. But we're about to get a new hour candle here in 3 minutes. Here's what I will say. I am willing to take a sell here if we get a wick about halfway through this zone. If we can get a wick about right there. If we can get a wick to come to right there and show that we're truly respecting this EMA ribbon as a resistance, we can get in sells and look for possibly 14 to 41 pips on the new hour. So on the new hour, if we get a wick up to the dotted line, which is about halfway up the candle, which is typically what happens when we create a wick, we could look to get in sells. On which pair, Aloha? Oh, for SPY? Yeah, I don't trade SPY. I'm sure there was, because anytime he speaks, it's typically good. I know everybody was saying that today was going to be a huge sell-off, but in terms of people who invest and people who have money and people who are using the stock market, they typically like when Trump speaks. I'll leave it at that, because he's very pro-America, and when you're pro-America, people have confidence in the dollar, and that's probably why you saw gold drop off today, is because the dollar rose a little bit. I think a lot of people probably got a good feeling from his speech, and based on that, they decided that they were going to take put their money back into the market. And that's when the US dollar got stronger and you saw gold take a little bit of a dump off. Also, gold had to come down at some point. So there was a catalyst involved, that being Trump's speech. There's always got to be a catalyst or something that drives these major moves. Zenterhog with the hands. Looks like clapping hands. Thank you. Zentorhog. Hopefully I said that right. I'm not sure what that means, but it's a good name. Hopefully that makes sense. Aloha. Bander, you love that Euro USD, man. You love it. Bander, you love the Euro USD. I'm not touching it. Not unless we get a break and retest of this zone and then it comes back down. That's the only way I'd touch it. Because even if you here, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this trend, this channel, right? And let's just on the 1 hour draw out some basic support and resistances, right? You've got a zone right here that this is under. You've also got a zone. That's really it. That's really it, yeah. That's it. That's your zone right there. That's your zone right there. Because there is your previous high. It could even be higher. You could even put it up here. But you've got a zone essentially, regardless of where I draw it. Because a zone is not just one point. It's an area of trading. From here to here is your zone. We don't know if it's going to break above it or if it's going to continue down. So there is no trade here yet. In my system. The way you trade, you might have a system where this tells you that it is something. But the way I trade, this is not a trade. That's even on my radar. Which is why I don't have it flagged right here. I only have 6 charts flagged, and I'm pretty much going to eliminate 2 or 3 of them right now. Euro JPY is going to drop. NZD USD is probably going to come back down. Don't know about USD. And then USD CAD. We got the new hour candle. It was a full massive bearish engulfing candle. The one beloved, what makes it a valid zone? Great question. Resistance over a long period or support over a long period of time. For instance, here's my yellow zone right here. It has rejected this zone since it broke it. It has rejected this zone for 1 day and 16 hours. I trade on the 1 hour and the 4 hour and the 15 minute. 1 day and 16 hours is a hell of a long time when you trade on those time frames. This is considered a strong resistance right here. Right here is a strong resistance zone. We haven't broke it in almost 2 full days. 1 day and 16 hours. That makes it a zone. If you were to go up here, this one up here where we have our this was a support at one point, but it has not broke this area in, let's take a look. We're now going on 47 days and 15 hours. I would say that's a pretty strong zone. There was one that we analyzed yesterday that hadn't broken the zone since 1990. 36 years ago. We have a zone drawn. Pretty good reversal chance. I believe it was Euro JPY. Yeah. Here, I'll show you guys. Ready? So Euro JPY. We actually have to go further. We have to go to the 12 month. All right, so Euro JPY, right? Here's our zone. The last time it was here was Wednesday, the 1st of January. Oh, that yellow line is not a candle. This is Monday, the 1st of January of 1990. So I would consider this to be an extremely valid zone. Last time it was here was 30 years ago, 36 years ago. That's a valid zone. It's probably going to retrace off this zone. And it did. It did. It did. This is where we talked about that last night. Ended up coming down, coming back up, coming down, coming back up, coming down. But essentially, it did exactly what it did last time it was here. Dropped down. Did exactly what it did last time it was here. Dropped down. And it's not that we're necessarily using past information, but we're just using zones that are currently being rejected or supported. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. I think this is going to sell. Truthfully. But again, we have a zone right here that's pretty strong. This could continue back up this way. But if we wanted to get in sells, we could get in sells and try and make 25 pips. It just doesn't 100% meet our criteria to trade. It doesn't 100% meet the criteria to trade. Sometimes on the 15 minute, sometimes on the 1 hour. It just really depends on what the market's giving us. I don't have a set rule on when I enter, but if we have all four of our confirmations and we can get in on the 15, we will. I'd rather get in and out of a trade quicker, but a lot of the times it's easier to analyze on the 1 hour. The 1 hour has a little bit more structure. So... where's USD CAD? Yeah, USD CAD looks like it's going to sell again. DB, what are we trading? Foreign exchange pairs. Nice. Yeah, 1 hour to 5 minutes. Everybody's got a different strategy, man. There's more than one way to make money in the markets. You know? There's no one right way. If there was, everybody would have figured it out and everybody would trade and everyone would be a millionaire. There's plenty of people that use different strategies and make money. Many ways to do it. No, you don't even need close to $25,000. I always tell people $300 to $500. I would start with $300 to $500. That gives yourself enough room to use 0.10 or 0.25 of a lot size at 1 to 500 leverage, and you can make mistakes and you can make some money as well, not blow your account, as long as you learn proper risk management and understand your position sizing. If you can learn proper risk management and understand your position sizing, you could go very, very far in trading. That's more than half the battle. I don't trade NQ, my brother. I don't trade it. Not even going to look at it. I don't trade it. It was because of Trump's speech, though. Like I said, if there's a catalyst to move something, it will move it. I do not trade gold, no. Gold has no structure. It's been moving up for the past 3 years. Since COVID, actually, it's been moving straight up. There's no structure to gold, in my opinion. Unless you want to catch like 5 to 7 pips on a wick retracement. Jalomi, this is USD CAD that we're looking at right now. We're probably seeing some retracement on the 1 hour, I would assume. We're going to see if this is a valid resistance still. If it is, we're going to take sells on it. We had a fair value gap created. All of the technicals are in sells. Some of them are neutral now, but most of them are sells, especially the 4 and 2 hour and the 1 hour is neutral, but we're going to see what happens with this 4 hour candle. I'd imagine if we close anywhere like this, yellow is the zone that I drew. Yellow is what I drew. I draw my own zones. Yellow is just a resistance zone that I drew. Supply and demand, support, resistance, it's the same thing. A guy named ICT just decided to name them all differently and call it his own. They're all the same thing, though. Market mechanics, price action. It's 2 words that mean the exact same thing. Bandera, it sounds like you either probably watched some ICT videos or some SMC videos. Based off the language you're using. Just a guess. But it's all the same thing with different words. And that's what's tough about the trading industry too, is there's so much information out there, and some of it is conflicting information too. So it's you gotta really pick and choose who you listen to. Order flow. Order flow doesn't mean anything to me, to be quite honest with you, man. Yeah. Yeah, Brad Trades. I think I've seen him before. Yeah, you feel sick hearing ICT. Just way to overcomplicate things. And I'm not here to bash anybody. Everybody's got their own way to trade, and if you make money, you make money. I've said this on many streams. If you have more money in your bank account when you finish your whatever the year or the month than when you start, congratulations, you're a profitable trader. However you want to do it. But I'm not going to try and make order blocks and flow charts and order flows and breaker boxes, and no. It's too much. We've got fair value gaps, we've got EMA ribbons and support and resistance zones and breaker structure. It's very simple. Yeah, Adam Koo is pretty good too. He's a really good trader as well. I learned a lot of stuff from him, but he gets into Fibonacci retracements and harmonic patterns, and I don't trade any of that stuff. I think it's too much noise. As long as you can draw out a support and a resistance zone on a chart, you could take a trade and be a profitable trader. Key levels and support and resistance zones, you should be able to make money. But you also do have to understand candlesticks and wicks. Yeah, aloha. Again, you can trade how you want, and everybody has their own way of trading, but I just would not. Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, the simpler the better. More simple, simpler, the better. There's no reason to overcomplicate things at all. Let's see what that AUD trade did. Look at that. AUD kept going. There was no market correction yet. Where's the next zone? So you guys were talking about key zones, right? So let's see where the next zone is here. We're going to have to drop down to the day. The next zone on this... Oh boy. So our current zone is right here. The next zone on this chart is not until... Oh, it looks like I had it marked over a year and a half ago. Looks like I had it marked when I used to use red boxes. That's pretty funny. There's your next zone. And we can move it all the way over if we'd like. But I do not see this going straight up to the next zone. That's your next zone. I don't see this going for 157 pips tonight just because of news on unemployment. It's typically not a big enough catalyst to make it go for 157 pips. It's funny that I had a... But that's a pretty strong zone up in this area. You kind of got one right here. But yeah, I mean, that's your next zone. Possibly right here. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. But yeah, that would really be your next zone. And yeah, you certainly could go for another 32 pips on this candle. But I typically notice that you see market corrections after news. But yeah, it's not a chart that we're really going to look at. NZD is still climbing. CAD JPY has not reversed quite yet. And Euro JPY is still green on the 4 hour. Like I said, we need to see it break this zone in order to take sells. USD JPY rejected the zone hard. We could see it come back down to market open for the week. Market open was right here. We could see this come back down. If it does, you're looking at something like 60 to 90 pips, which is a good trade, but you'd have to break through the EMA ribbon and the fair value gap for that to happen. So not necessarily something that I think is going to happen tonight. Not necessarily something that I think is going to happen tonight. GJ looks like it's trying to move up. If we close green, it'd be great, but it's got to break this zone to be able to go. And USD CAD is still red, so if we get a red close here, again, I'd like to see a break and retest, so we'd have to see it. It's breaking it, but ideally we'd want to see something kind of come down here, come back to this line or this line, and then we'd take sells down to this zone right here, which for us would be roughly 45 pips. We need to wait for a break and retest, though. We're chasing pips. We're not chasing dollars. We actually really already had the break. It kind of already broke the structure. I bet you if you look at the 5, it already broke. So you had on the 5 minute, and you could enter on the 5 minute. On the 5 minute, you had a break, and you had it come up and retest here. We could see this zone right here on the 5 minute. It'd actually be a pretty good trade for 10 pips. But going into the 4-hour candle, I think I've learned my lesson with that. When you're only 40 minutes away from a 4-hour candle, wait for rejection. It's going to come back up this way. This could be a small W because of the 4-hour, like this. There's a lot of scenarios that could happen. What you need to do is just understand and analyze what scenario is most likely. We're taking calculated risks based off the information that the charts are giving us. You want to take the best calculated risk available. Nice. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with paper trading. Demo trading's good to learn. Tracy Jones, hi, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Of course, we appreciate you joining. But it looks like we're probably going to end up waiting for the 9 o'clock hour to get in anything. Just based off what I'm seeing here. Looks like this 5 minutes pretty hung up right there. Everything's going good, Tracy. We're trading foreign exchange pairs, specifically USD CAD and Euro JPY. USD JPY. We're waiting for our confirmations. We need 4 confirmations to get in a trade. We're just waiting for them. I think we're gonna get I think we're gonna get some sort of retracement up to here to test this area again on the 4-hour, guys. On the 4-hour of this chart, we have an extremely powerful fair value gap. Extremely powerful fair value gap right here. It's been here for, like we said, now going on 1 day and 16 hours. This fair value gap has proven to be a very strong resistance. We already made money off this move this morning. This big long candle, we caught this, which was nice. Now we're going to see if we can catch it again, because it looks like we're getting rejection. Pretty strong rejection too. A whole entire 4-hour candle turned red and rejected this fair value gap, which is a good sign. It's a really good sign. If you're new to the stream, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I think ideally we come and retrace up here. We may make a big wick like we did before and then take a sell, but we'll see. The 15 is reversing at this fair value gap right here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. At this fair value gap right here, it's having a tough time breaking it. It's had 3 candles that haven't broken it. I've got a system that I've been perfecting over the past 15 years. So that's how I know there's support and resistance, break of structure, stuff like that. But that's how I know or have an idea. Calculated risk, like we talked about. We're bouncing on this EMA ribbon though. I think ideally we're just going to get the retest at the dotted line. Personally, that's where I think we're going to go. But we'll see. We got a little bit of time here. Looks like we just got a new 5-minute candle here. And we're going to break it. You could scalp this for 10 pips if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. Really 8 pips. 8.6 pips. Could scalp it to the next zone. I personally don't want to. I know it looks like a break and a retest already, and it may very well be, but going into a new hour and a new 4-hour candle, I think we're going to retrace a little bit. But again, this is a very powerful candle right here. This candle is very powerful. With a long wick like that and a very bearish body, very good confirmation that we are rejecting that fair value gap and indeed moving down toward the downside. And it could be a huge trade, being that there's so much room for movement and no fair value gaps in the way. Your next fair value gap isn't till down here. This is your next fair value gap down here. So realistically, on the 4-hour time frame, this chart's probably going to go for 40 pips. And you're more than welcome to get in now. I just want to get in at the best price. Yeah, you certainly could sell, but I'm probably going to wait for the 9 o'clock hour there to see what happens, or at least wait for this 15-minute candle, because you've got some support right here that it's not breaking, this fair value gap. So we're going to want to wait for it to come up and retest this area again. Pips, P-I-P-S, yeah, 40 pips. A pip is a value amount based on your account, but it's a measure of movement in the charts. Benny, this is USD CAD. Henry, like I said, yes, it does look like a sell, but we're gonna need to wait to see. In my opinion, I want to wait to see if it's gonna break and retest. We're looking at the hour, the 4-hour, and the 15-minute, but the 4-hour is the one that has the most structure here. Again, this fair value gap, we already made money once this week on. This fair value gap right here, we've already made money once on today with this huge candle. So we don't want to get caught up in retracement though and hold a bunch of drawdown, because realistically, if you got in a sell here and it's gonna wick just like these other candles and retest this area, you can be holding 15 to 10, anywhere from 5 to 15 pips of drawdown. And for me, a pip is, 30 to 50 bucks. So times that by 10, I don't really want to be holding $500 drawdown if I don't have to. Typically about 15 to 20. It depends what time frame you're trading on. The Immortal, it depends what time frame, but when you're trading on the hour and the 4 hour, I'm looking for about 20 pips. But again, so what I've did is draw these key zones. See how I drew these key levels here? These key lines are levels. So I know that if I got in a sell here, ideally we'd want to see it break this first, but 9 pips is my first target. About 40 pips is my second target. My third is about 70 and change. And then the other one down here is well over 100. If it does come all the way back down to the bottom of the zone, 176 pips. But I don't have a target for pips. I look at the market and the structure of the chart. And based on the structure of the chart, I'll mark key levels, and those are my target zones. That's like almost the definition of price action trading, is identifying key levels and key zones, and using those as targets, resistances, supports. We take what the market gives us. We don't force our hand on it. That's a good way to lose money, by forcing trades and picking dollar amounts that you want to make and picking number of pips that you want to make. You do it based off where your key levels are. I don't know what Spaceman key levels are. I've never heard of that before. What is that? It's a new term for me. Is that a ICT term? So you guys wanted to take the sell, and look what it's doing on the 15. It's green. That's why we didn't take the sell yet. We want to be sure that this thing's dropping. I don't care about missing, I don't care about missing pips from here to here. You're not going to have FOMO for missing these pips right here when we can see it come back up. Yeah, it may go to about here before it reverses, but I'd rather wait for the reversal and the retest before getting in. Taking a sell when it's already at lows is a dangerous game. Oh, Spaceman key levels? Yeah, no, I don't use many indicators. Like I said, I'm working on my own, but I only use the EMA ribbon and the fair value gap. Those are the ones that I've had the most success using, and I've been using them for a really long time, to be quite honest with you. We're going to see what happens here, though. We got 26 minutes until we get this 4-hour candle. Typically, within the first 10 to 15 minutes of 9 o'clock, we know what's going to happen. We know if we're going to be getting in the trade or not within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the new 4-hour candle. We'll see which way it looks like it's going to reject, which way it looks like it's going to move, and we'll be good to go. But again, this close to a new 4-hour candle, typically don't want to get in a trade. Really anything over 5 to 8K, anything over 8,000. The less volume that a pair has, the wider the spreads are going to be when you go to execute it on your broker. Oh yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry guys, I should have specified that. Appreciate you, Miguel. It's in 25 minutes for me. But ideal volume, yeah, like above 8K. I'll sometimes take it around 5 if the setup's really good. But again, you just don't want to have really wide spreads. I actually typically only trade Asian session. I traded New York this morning. Sometimes I'll trade New York one day a week. But the Asian session I have had the most profit in over my trading career. So I like the Asian session the most out of all the sessions. London session works pretty well too, but I'm not staying up that late. You know? Not trying to be trading at 2, 3 in the morning. Adele, there he is. I was beginning to think he fell asleep. What time are they? The Asian session starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and ends at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're currently overlapping with the Australian session, and then the London session starts at 3 a.m. My time, so 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and goes to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's more of from very, very early in the morning here until the afternoon. And then obviously the New York session overlaps with that, starting at 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want that information, though, it's right here on Forex Factory. Right here, it shows you the sessions. So here's Sydney, which is the Australian session, Tokyo, which is the Asian session, London, which is the London session, and then New York, which is the New York session. It lets you know right here based off the time. It tells you, this London begins in 6 hours, Tokyo ends in 7 hours and 22 minutes, which is the Asian, 4 a.m. my time. See, it says that in parentheses. So I do not trade the New York session a lot because of the news. There's too much news in the New York session, in my opinion. Way too much news in the New York session for me to enjoy it and make some money off of it. It measures the actual session. The way the candles move is a direct effect of volume. If you have a massive red candle, that means there's a ton of selling volume. If you have a massive green candle, that means there's a ton of buying volume. If you have a candle like what we have right now that has long wicks and a very small body, that means that the buying and the selling volume is equal. If you guys want to learn all this too, I did write an ebook. It's comprised of all the information I've learned over the past 15 years. It's on my website, tradingwithmatt.ai. You can go onto my website and get it, tradingwithmatt.ai. Yeah, Mission Crowny. Yeah, gold is good during the New York session. But again, I don't trade gold. Tracy Jones, you're a newbie. I would suggest getting that. You can hop around different YouTubes and trying to find it. I personally found that finding one person is a lot easier than learning from like 10 different people. I learned the hard way. I had to watch videos from 5 or 6 different people when I started trading when I was 17 years old. Nowadays, with people having courses and people having, you know, courses are not a scam. Courses are not a scam. You're teaching a valuable lesson, just like a golf instructor teaches golf, a math teacher teaches math, an English teacher teaches English. Someone who knows how to trade can be good at teaching to trade. It doesn't mean they're not profitable enough. I know it's a very bad misconception in the industry that, oh, if they sell a course, they're making all their money off the course and not off trading. No, it's I'm good enough at something that I might as well teach it to others and make money on that too. It's still value. It's not that we're trying to scam people. We're just not going to give our services 100% for free. You can come watch my lives for free all you want. You can be in my Discord for free all you want. But eventually, you're going to find somebody that provides enough free value that you're going to want to buy whatever they have next available that's not available for free. And, you know, that's part of my business plan is provide enough free value to where you say, you know what, I'd like to take it to the next level. Sure, you want to do one-on-ones? I have that available. You want to meet once a week on Discord? We can meet face-to-face, go over charts together, ask questions. So that's my stance on that. And I'm not pitching you guys, so I don't want you to think I'm pitching you. Whether you buy something from me or not, I don't care. We're here to learn and teach, and that's about it. I appreciate you, Adele, Miguel, appreciate you guys. The Immortal, the One Beloved, Benny. Yeah, all you guys, appreciate it. Tracy Jones, welcome to the stream for the first time. All you guys, means a lot. We're trying to build the best trading community out there and the most transparent one. No bullshit. Benny with the hands. We've got a couple minutes till we get a new 15-minute candle. Like I said, I think we're going to need to see this retest before we get in sells. This is why we didn't get in a sell. For everyone that thought that we should sell there, and it's just a learning. It's a... Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to meet at Starbucks, if you live near me, obviously. I doubt there's many people that live that close to me. I'm in Florida. Thank you, the Immortal. Appreciate you. Did you guys see that reel that Adele made for me today? So Adele's my moderator, and he also he's part of Team Trading with Matt. He does a lot of work for me, but did you guys see that reel? It's on YouTube, it's on TikTok, Instagram. You guys got to check out that reel he made. It's like some trend that's going on in the trading community. It's hilarious. Yep, simplicity is the best. I had a lot of people text me about it. I had a ton of DMs about it. It was hilarious. Benny's gonna fly from Ireland. The Immortal's gonna check it out. Yeah, it's the one where it starts like this. Make sure you look at this one. It's hilarious. It's a good one. You guys got to go watch it with the music and everything. And it's all pictures of me. It's pretty funny. I actually used the pirate one as the thumbnail for today's live. I'll send it. Hold on. Oh, he just said the same thing. Yeah, Dell's got it. Thank you. He's way ahead of me. Thank you. NZD USD is rejecting the way we wanted it to. CAD JPY we're probably not going to end up touching. And Euro JPY we're probably not going to end up touching. Just based on this 4 hour. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. He did a good job. So Euro JPY and CAD JPY are both looking like buys now to go back up the zone. NZD USD is the only one that looks like it's going to reverse off this fair value gap. USD JPY didn't do anything good. Didn't do anything good. USD CAD's pretty much the only trade we're looking at, unless NZD USD flips bearish, but it doesn't look like it's going to. I think we've pretty much narrowed it down to USD CAD, guys. I know there's a lot going on this chart right now, so I'm going to kind of clean it up here. So I think I'm going to make these thinner. Yeah, man. Appreciate you joining. You know, without viewers, it would suck. So I appreciate you guys joining. Like I said, Monday through Thursday, with the exception of tomorrow, because I'm going to be at the PGA show in Orlando, Florida. So I will not be streaming tomorrow, but we got two streams in today. We streamed New York session and today's Asian session, so. This one's going to be yellow because that's the one we got to break. This one's going to be yellow because it's a zone. This dotted line we're going to make a lot smaller and make it dashed. Now it looks like a little road. But yeah, CAD's got volume. 18K. Euro JPY has a ton of volume too, but it's not going the right way. Like on the 4 hour, it's pushing up. That makes no sense. Well, it does make sense because of this fair value gap, but it looks like it's going to come up and probably retest this zone again. Which, again, isn't a terrible trade. It's 43 pips, but it is on a downtrend, and I don't like trading against the trend. If we took buys on Euro JPY, we're trading against the trend. Because on the hour, it's on a downtrend. I guess on the 4 hour, it's still an uptrend. Yeah, man, switch all your charts. All your charts should be this one. Here, let me move it over just so everybody can see. Oh, it won't let me. All your charts should be... Jeez, wow. I really can't do this. All your charts should say FXCM. That's the best one by far. FXCM. That is the most accurate. I don't know what this one is. I've never seen that one. The one that says featured. Track tick mill. Yeah, I've never seen this tick mill one. But yeah, we're not using that. We're using FXCM. I've never heard of tick mill. But it has the most accurate volume data. Dell is correct there. It does have the most accurate volume data. Oh, you just blew through that fair value gap. So the W is in play here. The W is in play. This would be your target. And it's got the volume. You're at 43K on volume. So it's got the volume. We got 10 minutes left until we get a new candle, which will be good. The 4-hour candle gives us a lot of information. Oh, I gotta crack it back. I think NZD is going to come down, but it might not be till later. USD just did nothing for us. It looked like it was going to pump, but it didn't. GJ's doing nothing for us but consolidating. And USD CAD's the only one with potential. So move that bad boy to the top. Probably going to completely get rid of USD JPY and GJ. If GJ breaks that, we could be in good shape. We keep GJ. That's yellow, though. So my process, too, guys, is you take all of the charts that you like, and you just start hacking them down one by one when you go from the 4-hour down to the 15-minute, and just whatever you don't like and you're not seeing good price action, you get rid of it. But you start with 5, 6, 7 charts, and then you just you love your Euro USD. Could. Yeah. It looks like it rejected this fair value gap. But you got a zone right here. And you got a fair value gap right here. You're caught between two fair value gaps. It's not a good place to trade. One right here. And one right here. You have almost no room. You have this much movement of room. You have to break one of these. And I wouldn't touch it until it broke through this. This big zone right here. Personally. Yeah, I try not to get stuck on one pair and marry a trade, essentially. It's a good way to force a trade, you know? But if it works for you, it works for you. Again, not dissing the way anybody trades at all. You should change your name to Euro USD. All right, 6 minutes actually, guys. Six minutes. right at 6 minutes. A little less, actually. 5 minutes now. But I do think it's a sell, guys. I truly do. For at least 9 pips. Good signs, too. Closure below the lows. It's driving down here. The 4 hours making some good headway here. We just wait for a retracement and then enter. Really good movement. Is the hour going to be a bearish engulfing? Yeah, that previous hour was. So again, we could have gotten this trade up here, but we want to wait for a bigger confirmation. I can't stress that enough. If you want to avoid getting wicked out or getting faked out, you wait for a confirmation. Oh, thank you. We wait for a break and retest to make sure it's not liquidity. But you don't always know. Sometimes that's the risk you take with trading. There's never a definite answer, but finding the highest probability is by waiting for a break and retest. Good question, Benny. That's a really good question. There is no way of definitely knowing. Like when we took this trade yesterday, we could have got liquidated off this. But identifying your key zones will really help you do that. For instance, if I were to get in any trade here, right, on a short position, my stop loss is going to be above the previous highest wick just to make sure I don't get liquidated, like a little bit above it. Because if it breaks this fair value gap, it's gone. It's going the other way. It's going up. But if we were to set this trade up as if we were getting in right now, this is what you're looking like. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get this far down tonight. It'd be great to wake up tomorrow morning and see it there. But that's what your chart would look like. So if you were to get liquidated, you'd have to have it go all the way up into this zone and then have it come back down. The chances of that happening are not very high. It certainly could because this whole area is a zone. But your key level is this fair value gap right here because of all this rejection that it's had right here. All this rejection. Yeah. I try not to. But what I do, and this is what I suggest everybody does, because I pretty much after we get in the trade, I it's late for me. I don't stick around too long unless we immediately go into profit. But we've done the waiting, the explaining, the analyzing. I've given you guys as much information as I can give you. But what I do is I'll take make alerts. So see this little, I click this plus right here and it makes a dotted line. You click add alert on USD CAD, and it added an alert here, right? What I'm going to do is change this alert to say TP1. So now I know that that's TP1. The next one down here is TP2. My phone is going to make a buzzing noise when it hits this. I can wake up and immediately close the trade. If I don't have a take profit set, most of the time I will. But if I want to just close 25% or 50% of the trade and leave runners, I at least know where we're at. So this one I'm going to call TP2. You have to have the premium version of TradingView for this to transfer over to your phone. Here's our new hour candle, guys. But if you have the live, the subscription for TradingView, see, it looks exactly how the chart looks on my phone. So I don't have to really worry about not knowing what's happening. But we're going to add a TP3 right here. And then we're going to definitely add one at our stop loss, which is up here. So we're going to put stop loss. So now we have alerts for every area. I'm going to move this up to here and change it to red because that's ideally where our stop loss is going to be. Everything in green is take profits. This is that key level that we were talking about, but we can kind of get rid of this now because... And then I make sure I lock this in place so I can move around without this moving. Otherwise, it can move on you. I don't think we're going to get much retracement on this, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to unlock it because we're going to move it for when we actually get in to be at the proper area. I don't think we're going to get much retracement on this candle. But again, we have our stop loss right above the fair value gap. At worst, it looks like it's probably going to be 30 pips. It's almost the exact same trade as yesterday. Not even close, actually, 20 pips. But we're going to enter on the 5 here probably. Oh, yeah, this is a good trade. We broke the lows. We have a fair value gap. We had it retest the EMA ribbon twice. This is a good trade. This is a good trade. So does everybody understand why we're going to get in this trade right now? We have clear break of structure. We had it retest the EMA ribbon area and this fair value gap twice. We had it create a new fair value gap. We're on a downtrend. And we have the 4 hour, a massive 4 hour fair value gap that is being used as a resistance. So, I mean, you can wait for it to come up more. Like, we can wait here and see if it tries to drive up more to get in a better position. What's that doing there? We can wait to see if it comes up more. But based off how much bearish movement we had, I don't see it doing that. So I'm personally going to get in on sells, guys. I'm in. And I'll tell you exactly where I'm at. I'm at, my entry was 1.38267. 1.38267. Type that in. There it is. USD CAD sells, guys. We are in. And I'm going to do on my broker, I'm going to go in and type in my stop loss and my take profit. So stop loss is going to be 1.384. 463, 1.38, 463. Change that. And then we're going to just draw our take profits out. And that's it. That's it. That's top to bottom analysis. So if you've been with me through the whole stream, you just saw my entire process of how I mark my chart up at everything. That's it. You could expect to possibly go halfway to here and hold 7 pips of drawdown. When you're trading on the 4-hour time frame and we're going for 20, 30 pips, I don't really care about 8 pips of drawdown. I'm not going to sit here and wait for the exact second to click sell. I'm okay with it fluctuating in this area right here. As long as you have proper risk management, it shouldn't be a big deal to you. You're not going to snipe every single position. Oh, I got to send this. Sorry, I got to send this in the Discord, guys. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to lock that. There you go. Sent. All right, so hopefully everybody understands why we got in this. Yeah, we're already in profit 70 bucks. Granted, I'm using a much higher lot than probably most people, but you know, this is exactly how you do it. And so for those of you who are asking how much money you need to start with, if you had $300 right now in an account, you just use 0.10 of a lot or 0.25 of a lot, and you can do this exact same thing. It doesn't matter how much you start with, as long as you give yourself a little bit of breathing room, so you're not making, you know, $1 or $2 per trade. You want to be making, you know, 10, 12 bucks to start, and then you keep growing your accounts bigger and bigger and bigger if you don't have a lot of discretionary income. If you got money to put in on a trade and you want to learn trading, use your own capital. Don't use prop firm. But yeah, that's our entry right there, guys. And I mean, we're only what? We're only 1.7 pips in profit, and that's already 100 bucks. So yeah, if it doesn't move, it will in London session. And plus the dollar versus the Canadian dollar, I mean, it's just, I like the trade. So yeah, you got to start somewhere, the Immortal. Yeah, man. You got to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. But that's it for me, guys. We're in profit. Make sure you manage your trades. Make sure you have your alerts set. I would highly advise making alerts on TradingView. If you don't have the premium, I totally understand. But I would advise getting the premium. It's like 15 bucks a month or like 150 for the year. I would do that and make sure you have your alerts set so you can hear that noise when you get those take profits. Make sure you have your stop losses and your take profits set on your broker. That way you don't liquidate your account by accident if it goes the other way. But I appreciate you guys. Let's get a little round of applause going here. It's a good trade, guys. Should be good through the night. We should make some money. And I will be managing the trade in Discord. I'll message you guys. let you know if I'm getting out. But that's it for me. I appreciate you guys very much. If you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure you do so, okay? This is probably the last stream for the week, so we'll be back Sunday night. Thank you, guys.